Good morning, ladies. Welcome to the next adventure of Romans 6 and building into our foundation lifelong practices that must be established for you to have a victorious life over sin and your day and your family and everything else from that place forward. I want to read you something that I wrote in my manual, I don't know how many years ago, but I defined weapon from Webster's dictionary. I love looking up words in the dictionary. And so I looked up the word weapon in the dictionary because our new verse to memorize in Romans 6 says to present yourselves to God as being alive from the dead and your members as instruments of righteousness. Well, in other translations, it says weapons of righteousness. Your body is a weapon of righteousness. You're going to be a slave to one master. You're going to be a slave to the devil and sin and what's in the atmosphere, or you're going to be a slave to God's righteousness and be used as a weapon of righteousness in your environment. You can't be both. You're going to be one or another. And so the power of presentation is dependent on you as an act of your will. But if you know the power of presentation, you're going to will yourself to do this on a daily basis. Sometimes when I wake up, I don't really know what to do or where to start, and so I'll just start with presenting myself. I present myself, I yield myself, I offer my body to God as a weapon of righteousness. So let me define what a weapon is. A weapon is a thing designed or used for inflicting bodily harm or physical damage, a means of gaining an advantage or defending oneself in a conflict or contest. It's used to injure, defeat, destroy anything used against an opponent. So this is what your life yielded to God from your will and your mouth first thing in the morning. You become a thing designed or used for inflicting bodily harm or physical damage, a means of gaining an advantage and defending yourself in a conflict or contest. You become something that's used to injure sin and death and the atmosphere around you. You become a destructive agent to anything that could be used against you. It's good to be a destructive agent to sin and death and the devil. And it comes as simply as presenting yourself, presenting your body, presenting your members, presenting your faculties, presenting my mind first thing in the morning. God, I'm not submitting myself to emotions or how my body feels. I'm submitting myself to God as someone who's been made alive out from among the dead, and I'm presenting my body as a weapon used to injure, defeat, and destroy sin in my environment. I'm offering my body to become a thing designed and used for inflicting bodily harm on the enemy, just by my presence being in the room. I want you to turn to page 78. And this is something you can practice every day for 2 weeks. If you do this every day for 2 weeks, you're going to see the power of presenting your body. In the fourth paragraph down, it says presentation is an act of the will. This is something you choose to do first thing in the morning. So practicing this for 2 weeks is going to get this in your wheelhouse as something that, if this is something you just do first thing in the morning, instead of offering yourselves to your emotions and just being at the whim of how you feel physically, you or your circumstances, you offer your body to God. I love these bullet points. Yield, surrender, submit your body to God. Use your mouth, use your will, and submit your body to God. Give over your entire being to the all-encompassing power of obedience. You know, when you do this, you become a slave to the master that you're choosing to obey. You can obey your emotions and come under your circumstances and listen to the lies of the enemy, and you will become a weapon used against yourself and others. Or you submit and yield your body to the all-encompassing power of obedience to God, and you become a slave to his righteousness. God begins ordering your day. You become a pipeline of righteousness and obedience, someone through whom God's presence can flow. His thoughts can fill your thoughts. Wisdom can come to you, even in the midst of putting on eyelashes on a client or working as a customer service representative. Offering your body is weaponizing your design for God's righteousness and inflicting harm on the enemy. It also is the enforcement of what the cross has already won for you. It's like being the police officer in an unruly crowd. You have been weaponized and you've been deputized from the government in place to go in and arrest who needs to be arrested, shoot who needs to be shot, and bring to jail whoever needs to be put in jail. You have the authority to bind them up and put them in your car and drive them off to the courthouse. You become an active, deputized enforcement of God's righteousness in your environment. And so Christ has already won every battle. You might as well open up your body as an act of your will every day and receive the command in your members to enforce what he's already won. Can you imagine what life would be like on this planet, even in just your neighborhood, even in just your house, if you were to present your body in this way with this mindset every single day for a year, say? Wow, the enemy wouldn't stand a chance. You're a weaponized, deputized agent of righteousness and a slave to the master who designed you to be that weapon, to drive the enemy out of your own mind, your own thoughts, your own atmosphere, and out in the places that you walk into throughout your day. So I'm excited to explore this next foundation building block in your life. I can't wait to hear the testimonies of what this is like for you, big and small. Like, even if it just changed your chemistry and even how you were thinking that day, just by the simple act of obedience of engaging with this assignment. Just engage with this assignment. I promise you, your life will be different in 2 weeks. I look forward to the stories. Please share them on Slack, even if it's as small as I just had a thinking change. I just noticed I had wisdom flowing to me. I noticed that I had a sense of power around me and light that I didn't have before I presented myself. Let's get into this scripture in Romans 6 and actually live it out for 2 weeks and watch our environments change because we allowed ourselves to be the enforcing, deputized agents of righteousness in our spheres. I love you. Talk to you soon.